Hello students. So in the previous video, what we have studied, three videos we have seen already. So now, today we are dealing with the continuation of the living world. But what we have studied in the earlier class, that is, I am repeating, how the living organisms are supposed to be having the general characters, and the general characters are comparing with the non-living things, growth and reproduction. These are the two characters which are supposed to be not to be considered as the defining feature of living organisms, because already I told you the growth. Non-living things also grow by means of accumulation of external factors. Whereas in the case of reproduction, certain living organisms are also there which are unable to reproduce. Example, mule. Mule is an animal which is the cross-breeded variety of horse and donkey. So, mule is unable to reproduce, means it is not a fertile, it is unable to reproduce. Then the next example is worker bees. Worker bees are also there which are unable to reproduce. Then some human couples are also unable to reproduce. So, reproduction is a feature of living organisms, no doubt, because it is not taking place in the non-living things. But whenever we are comparing among the living organisms itself, means some of the living organisms are there which are unable to reproduce. Mule, worker bees, and some human couples. Hence, reproduction is also not a feature of living organisms we are able to observe. Suppose we are saying that all living organisms are in capacity to reproduce, except mule and the for that sake, it is not a feature of living organisms. Total, how much we have studied? So now 5. First one is growth, second one is reproduction, third one is consciousness, fourth one is consciousness, that is response to stimuli. Fourth one we have studied cellular structure. Then even we have to observe that is lifespan is also there, homeostasis is also there, that also you have to write. So these are the general characters we have observed so far. Now next we have studied already, that is how Linnaeus is normally said the importance of the binomial nomenclature, and also we have observed that the ICZN and the ICBN, International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, they are responsible for giving names to the plants as well as the animals. Next we are going to observe that the rules of nomenclature also we have observed, and it is important for 3 mark question, as already I told you, you have to practice it. Apart from that, classification is going to start. Classification is arrangement of the organisms in a systematic manner it is. So that is what we are observing it as a classification part. So they made the classification. So once they made the classification or the grouping of organisms, because individual animal is not possible to study, that is why grouping of organisms are supposed to be considered as classification. He started the classification of organisms. How he made the classification of organisms? He made the classification of organisms in a systematic manner. So that what we are observing it as a systematic something. This word we are observing that. First nomenclature, identification, nomenclature, then classification. I told you that all these three together we can call as taxonomy. All these three together we can call as taxonomy. Taxonomy is nothing but taxes and arrangement. So we have arranged the organisms in a systematic way. So taxonomy. The word taxonomy has been coined by This is an extra part what I am telling you, that the word taxonomy coined by D. Candolle, but identification, classification, naming the organisms proposed by Linnaeus. All these three together, taxonomy word has been produced or normally given by D. Candolle. The year 1813 has been observed. So D. Candolle, the scientist who has been normally provided the name taxonomy, given the name taxonomy. ಆದರೆ nomenclature, classification and normally arrangement. So all these naming ceremony, what we are observing it as, identification, what we are saying it as a taxonomy. Taxonomy and it is the organism which is supposed to be identified, classified and naming the organisms. ಇದು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, nomenclature ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿದವರು Linnaeus. And now the word taxonomy has been observed by D. Candolle. So in this way, that what we are observing that. And now systematics andre, systematics means how this classification has been made. Classification andre grouping of organisms. So now how this classification has been made andre, classification has been made normally based on the evolutionary factors. Classification has been arranged based on the evolutionary factors. Evolutionary factors means, what do you mean by term evolution? Evolution andre, so normally pre-existing one. The characters which is going to observe the animal in the animal, that is from pre-existing. Monkey to man, monkey animal next man, that what we are observing there. So evolutionary character, evolution means you know that. So now later on you can see that Linnaeus normally wrote one book and he kept the title of the book. That is Systema Naturae. Systema Naturae. So now these are all important here. The word taxonomy coined by D. Candolle. And now classification is mainly based on the evolutionary relationship. And this arrangement of the organisms normally called as systematics. Systematic arrangement. However, you are going to suppose an example is go and observe the library. The textbooks are arranged systematically. Here not the evolution order, but now physics part is there, means physics textbook is there. So once dictionary is also there. How the wordings are arranged systematically. Here evolutionary factor is not there, but the classification and the arrangement of organisms has been made on the basis of evolutionary relationship. Evolutionary relationship. I told you in the previous class how the amphibians are raised. Amphibians are raised based on the characteristic feature in the fishes. Because frog in the embryonic stage you can observe that. Frog embryonic stage, it is looking like fish. So based on that arrangement has been made. So like this, systematically arranged. So systematic arrangement is organisms, it has been classified on the basis of evolutionary relationship. So based on this, normally you can see that Linnaeus wrote one book and he kept the title of the book as Systema Naturae. That you have to observe. So now last thing you can observe that we are going to discuss briefly. I will tell you, that is taxonomic categories. Last what we are observing that taxonomic categories. Taxonomic categories. Taxonomic categories means categories are nothing but the ranking level in the classification. Ranking level in the classification. So what categories are there? Just we are observing that there are total 7 taxonomical categories are there. Number 1 is species. And the lower part I will write species, genus, then family, next order, next class, then family, order, class, phylum, then kingdom. taxonomic categories. What we are going to observe. 7 taxonomic characters are there. Already we have discussed 2 definitions, that is species and genus. So now species, next genus or genera, Mangifera indica. Like that we can observe that Felis tigris. Family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. Phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Primata, the family Hominidae, genus and species called as Homo sapiens. That is human or man classification what we are observing that. So total 7 taxonomical categories are there. Categories means ranking level in the classification. Suppose if you are studying the classes, you might have studied in the 10th standard or the 9th standard, you can observe that the class mices, class aves, class amphibians, class reptiles like this. Andre, suppose if you are writing class Mammalia, the particular organism, andre, suppose we are writing Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens andre man classification. I will tell you that man or the human being belongs to which class? The mammals. This Mammalia is considered as one taxon. Taxon means one ranking level, what we are observing there. Suppose we are saying that he belongs to which order, he belongs to which phylum. That phylum is considered as one taxon. Taxon is nothing but it is one unit in the classification. Classification is a unit, Mammalia, order, family like this. So taxonomical categories means a ranking level in the classification. This is ranking level, first rank, second rank, and rank like this. First, second, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7 like this. So ranking level in the classification we are saying that. As we are moving from the species to kingdom, species in the kingdom number of organisms are increasing. As we are moving from species to kingdom, number of organisms are increasing because so many organisms are going to be included. Not only one here. Family, species only one cat. Genus only tiger comes. Felis. So Felis domestica, cat. Here in the genus we are including the cat as well as tiger. Both are looking same. And now family, 2 or 3 genus are going to be combined based on certain characters. Order 2 to 3 families are combined to form order. Then class 2 to 3 orders are combined to form class. So a class Mammalia 2 to 3 or 4 to 5 classes are combined together to form phylum. As already we have stated, Pisces, Reptilia, Amphibia, all these classes are clubbed. On what basis? On the basis of certain easily observable character. That chordata. That what we are writing it as phylum chordata. Chordata ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ notochord is existing. ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ notochord ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. Number of organisms are increasing. Who are increasing? What I am telling you that. So kingdom, Animalia. This one classification I am showing you that man classification, primate, family, hominidae, like this. So individual one we can call as taxon. What I am telling here is all these together we can call as categories. Individual one we can call as taxon. So in this way, taxonomic categories, only this much is there. Detail not necessary to study. Here at least we have to think of these taxonomic categories. Taxis arrangement. Taxonomy identification, classification and naming the organisms. Right? So now this is taxonomical categories. Now we are moving toward the detailed classification is not there for our syllabus. In the textbook it is there, but some sort it has been deleted. That is why isto nodidare saku for the sake of knowledge purpose. And then next we are moving toward the second chapter, that is biological classification. Chapter 2 biological classification. Biological classification. Chapter 2 we are dealing the biological classification. So biological classification. Biological, we are classifying the living organisms. We are classifying the living organisms into convenient category, or we are grouping the organisms. Classification nothing but the grouping of organisms. So living organisms are grouped into convenient categories like this. Right. Now we can observe that during the time of classification, immediately classification has not been started. So now classification first ಮಾಡಿದವರು Aristotle. First you can observe that the Aristotle, father of you know that biology. So now or even zoology also. Aristotle made classification first time. How he made classification is he classified into two groups, that is plants and animals. Only these two things. Very important. Aristotle made first time classification. How he made classification? Based on the morphological characters. Aristotle made the classification morphological base. ಯಾವ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ those who not have the chlorophyll pigment they belong to animals. So like that classification has been made earlier. As we are dealing with the living organisms, how they classified is classification begins right from Aristotle. Aristotle made first time classification, that is he grouped into plants as well as the animals. ಎರಡೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ in the plants itself how they made classification means plants are classified on the basis of herbs, then shrubs and trees. Plants are classified on the basis of herbs, shrubs and the trees. Now animals are classified on the basis of with blood, without blood, that is inemacal or animal. So animals. See how they made classification. If you are having red blood, then belongs to animals. If you don't have red blood, then belongs to plants, like this. So classification without blood one group, with blood one group. Only he made the classification with the animals like this. Plants and herbs, shrubs and trees. Small plants, herbs, you know that. Small plants are called as herbs. Next to that the shrubs, then large one the trees. Ella trees one kade madidare. And now small plants are normally considered as herbs. They made classification on these basis. Internal characters they have not at all studied. So animals also, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ animals ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ with blood without blood ಈ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿವೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕಾಕ್ರೋಚ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಇದೆ ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್. ವಿದೌಟ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ದಿ ರೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆರ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್, ವಿದೌಟ್ ರೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀಬೇಕು. ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕಾಕ್ರೋಚ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದಪ್ಪ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿದೌಟ್ ರೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅವ್ರ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಬಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಮ್ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ. ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇ ವೇರ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈಡ್ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ. ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್, herbs, shrubs and trees, and even they made that based on the chlorophyll pigments also. But now animals are classified with red blood, without red blood ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ರೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. with red blood, without red blood ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. colorless blood ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೀತೇವೆ. that is belongs to another one. So in this way classification has been made. Earlier it is first time classification made by Aristotle. How he made the classification? Based on the morphological characters. That is why even we can consider it as an artificial system of classification. Man made this means naturally it is not there. Internal characters we have not observed. Only by observing the plants we made the classification. Next we can observe that he was the first man who has been made the classification based on the morphological characters. Morphological characters are the external characters. Now second one is now Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus, you know that. Linnaeus normally made the classification again. Linnaeus ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ he made two kingdoms. Linnaeus ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ, okay, he made the classification plants and animals, that is correct. ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I am going to give the kingdoms. Linnaeus proposed two kingdoms. Linnaeus proposed two kingdoms. That is number 1, kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae. Number 2, kingdom Animalium. Kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalium. So Linnaeus proposed two kingdoms, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalium. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಬೇರೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. What I will do? I will do two kingdoms, separate kingdom ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Plantae kingdom separate and the animals. ಅಂದ್ರೆ these two scientists who proposed the classification based on the morphological features. Morphological features ಮೇಲೆ propose ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. But the thing is, can observe some of the scientists who has been raised certain questions. In what about kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalium? So now certain questions they raise means they have not classified the organisms based on the prokaryotes and eukaryotes. This is one point. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes are not there. And now we can observe that nutrition ಮೇಲೆ classification ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. Based on the prokaryotes and eukaryotes, you know that prokaryotes means what? The nucleus which does not bounded by membrane. They are called as prokaryotes. Prokaryotes, eukaryotes, ಹೆಸರೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. The name it has not been given. Next we can observe that they have not at all informed about the fungal characters. Fungi character, you know, demerits of these classification. Demerits ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನು demerits ಅಂದ್ರೆ this classification they made, sincerely they made the classification. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೇನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇವೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ these are not explained prokaryotes. These are not explained prokaryotes and eukaryotes. They are not explained prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And they are not explained. Next one is fungi. Fungal classification is fungi, you know that ಶಿಲೀಂಧ್ರಗಳು, where it has been kept the fungi. So now prokaryotes ಮತ್ತು eukaryotes ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, fungi ಇಲ್ಲ. One more you can observe that they have not made the organism separately like unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular and multicellular. Classification they made correct. But now prokaryotes and eukaryotes, fungi explanation illa, and unicellular, multicellular. These are the questions raised by certain scientists. Why? Because these are correct, but you answer model. Prokaryotes, eukaryotes have a bacteria comes under which group? They are also living organisms. They are not dead organisms. Then this main fungus. Fungus are also supposed to be multicellular fungi is also there. Unicellular fungi is also there. Fungal ಹೆಸರೇ ಇದೆ. Plants alle ಹೆಸರೇ ಇವಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಹಾಕಬಹುದು. Bacteria and all those things. But what about the fungi? So now fungi neither they are showing completely plant character nor the animal character. That is why you can observe that they are not given any classification. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. So now plant ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ no chlorophyll pigment. Animal Animal ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ cell wall. So for that purpose you can observe cell wall is not there in the animals. But now plant ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ chlorophyll is not there. This is normally a heterotrophic in nature. Heterotrophic ಅಂದ್ರೆ they are depending on the other for the sake of food material. That is the heterotrophic fungi. ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ fungi ನೇ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದು wherever you are should be there itself. It's not possible. ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಎರಡು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸೊ ನಾವು ನೋ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿನೇ in the year 1969 you can observe that the next in the year 1969 R.H. Whittaker ಅಂತ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದರು. In the year 1969 R.H. Whittaker proposed 5 kingdom system of classification. 5 kingdom system of classification. So now 5 kingdom system of classification in the 10th standard or earlier also you have studied. So now 5 kingdom system of classification proposed by R.H. Whittaker. So now first one is Monera, then Protisma, Monera, Protisma, then Mycota, fourth one Plantae, next one is Animalia. So now Aristotle, Linnaeus proposed the classification based on the morphological characters. Based on the morphological character, or these two scientists also we are going to be called as artificial system of classification. But now here later on, because of certain demerits, what are the demerits? Demerits are these. R.H. Whittaker, most scientists has been proposed that 5 kingdom system of classification. That is Monera, Protista, Mycota, Plantae, Animalia. This Mycota we kept. This is the smallest kingdom. Smallest kingdom you can observe that. Why it is? Because it is neither belongs to plants nor the animals. They are showing some animal characters, they are showing some plant characters. That is why they kept separate kingdom. So in this way, Monera, Protista, Mycota, Plantae and Animalia, 5 kingdom system of classification proposed by R.H. Whittaker. Present system of classification. R.H. Whittaker, how they made the classification based on the evolutionary relationship. Based on the evolutionary relationship. The organism which is arising from pre-existing one. That is called as evolution. So now R.H. Whittaker proposed presently in the classification based on the evolutionary relationship that has been founded by R.H. Whittaker. ಐದು ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ some of the scientists who has been normally arising some questions is because of that the where we kept the virus. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವೈರಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ? ಮೊನೇರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ? ಸೊ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಮೊನೇರಾ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ, ಬ್ಲೂ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಆಲ್ಗೆ ದೇ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಮೊನೇರಾ. ಪ್ರೊಟಿಸ್ಟಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ? ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಟಿಸ್ಟಾ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್, amoeba, paramecium and all those. Diatoms are also there which are normally belongs to the protista. Mycota ಅಂದ್ರೆ fungi, ಶಿಲೀಂಧ್ರಗಳು. Then Plantae, Animalia, you know that plants and animals we have observed. So Monera. Apart from that, these are the system he made correctly. It is a different matter. But now some questions it has been raised that where we kept the virus. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ do you say that the viruses are non-living? No, viruses are also living. Then where we kept the virus? Virus ಯಾಕೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ again he informed that we have not keeping the virus. Virus ಯಾವುದೇ kingdom ಸೇರಿಲ್ಲ. We are not giving any type of kingdom to the virus. Why it is? Because viruses are same condition. You can observe that the viruses are not showing living characters also. They are showing both living as well as non-living characters. shows living and non-living characters. Later on we are studying about the virus, not necessary at present. So viruses andu ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ? We have given the kingdom to the bacteria. Bacteria ಗೊಂದು ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆವು. And of viruses that is not there. Why? Because they are exhibiting both living and non-living characters. ಯಾಕೆ? They don't have prominent cell structure. Earlier we have studied that cellular structure is the characteristic feature of living organism anta odu. But now here they are not showing the cell structure. That is why the Aristotelica not given any kingdom to the virus. Bacteria kondu kingdom kottevanu, so that bacteria felt happy because some useful bacteria are there. Adre virus ನಾವು kingdom kottilla, city ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು they became angry. That is why they are causing dreadful diseases. Followed. Do you find any useful virus? No. Great. Simply I am telling you that became angry means why we have not given any kingdom. It is because of that mainly they are showing both living and non-living characters. Okay, right. Next we are moving toward the first one is first kingdom. We are going to start Monera. First kingdom we are going to start Monera. So now Monera group nallu I told you already certain characteristics of Monera. First one is kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera. The kingdom Monera, you can see that characters have a pattern. These are basically called as prokaryotes. Prokaryotes. So now they are considering it as prokaryotes. What we are observing. Next, what are prokaryotes here? Prokaryotes only. Prokaryotes and eukaryote differences you have studied already. In a brief, I will tell you. Prokaryote, the nucleus does not bounded by nuclear membrane. The nucleus does not bounded by nuclear membrane is called as prokaryotes. The nucleus does not bounded by nuclear membrane, they are called as prokaryotes. Example yavatave bacteria, blue green algae. Bacteria and blue green algae, they belong to the prokaryotes or kingdom Monera. These are commonly considered as the prokaryotes because prominent nuclear membrane is absent. Nuclear membrane is absent. That is why we can observe that even we can call as even membrane bounded organelles are absent. We are observing that membrane bounded organelles are absent. If membrane bounded organelles are absent means ಈಗ ಒಂದು cell structure, for example, the central part nucleus is there. Nucleus does not bounded by nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane only. So that here cytoplasm is there. In the cytoplasm, what are the organelles are going to be found? Organelles ಅಂದ್ರೆ mitochondria ಇರುತ್ತದೆ, Golgi complex ಇರುತ್ತದೆ, like this. So once the nucleus is not bounded by membrane, then these organelles are also not having membrane. Mitochondria ko membrane irangi, Golgi complex ko membrane irangi. That is what we are observing, that membrane bounded organelles are absent. These are considering it as a prokaryotes. Membrane bounded organelles are absent anta kuda annu. So these characters what we are observing in the Monera group. Monera group nalli now basic characters I am going to tell you about these things. Prokaryotes, membrane bounded organelles are absent. Andre nucleus is not having membrane, is organelles are also not having membrane. Next is types. Yes, two types of Monera nalli you can observe that. Number 1, Monera types ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ Archaebacteria. Next eubacteria ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ. There are two types what we are observing, that archaebacteria and eubacteria. What do you mean by the term archaebacteria? So these are the two kinds of bacteria we are observing in the one year. Ivu types. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೊದಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಮೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ what kind of organisms are existing ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ and blue-green algae ಅಂತ. Blue-green algae ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. eubacteria ನಲ್ಲಿ archaebacteria are separated. So now first we are moving towards archaebacteria. Number one we are moving towards archaebacteria. Archaebacteria. So what are archaebacteria? Archaebacteria are archae andre ancient. Archae means ancient. Archaebacteria are the ancient bacteria. So ಯುಗ ಮತ್ತು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾಗೆ ಏನು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದಟ್ ದಿ archaebacteria are the ancient bacteria. Ancient bacteria means these are the bacteria which will exist before life begins on the earth. ಇವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಬಿಗಿನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್. ಇರಬಹುದು ಸರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಾತು ಅನ್ಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಬಿಗಿನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ದಟ್ ಹೌ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಲೈಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್. ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನೇಷನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲೈಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಆಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಅಂದಾಗ ಹಾರ್ಶ್ ಕ್ಲೈಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್, extremity, extreme cold, then even you can observe that the extreme hot, then sometimes you can observe acid rain also occurs, volcanic eruptions also occurs. ಆಮ್ಲ ಮಳೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ acid rain. volcanic eruptions ಜ್ವಾಲಾಮುಖಿ ಕೂಡ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. they were survive in the harsh climatic conditions. so what are archaebacteria question ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ these are the ancient bacteria where exist in harsh climatic conditions ಅಥವಾ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಬಿಗಿನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಅನ್ಬಹುದು. ಹಾರ್ಶ್ ಕ್ಲೈಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಬಹುದು, ವೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಬಿಗಿನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನೇಷನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಈಗ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಸಪೋಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಫುಡ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ is what will happen here? ಹೊರಗೆ ಇಟ್ಟಾಗ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ cold climatic condition to stop the growth. Suppose we are boiling things in the killing of bacteria which may take place. So what do you mean by that? Archaebacteria is different. Harsh climatic 100 degrees Celsius ಲಾಗೂ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ದು, volcanic eruption ಆದಾಗೂ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ದು, acid rain ಆದಾಗೂ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ climatic condition ಅಲ್ಲಿ even where the oxygen is also not there at that moment. At that moment also these were normally exist. That is why they are called as archaebacteria. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ರೈಟ್? archaebacteria ಅಂದ್ರೆ these are the ancient bacteria which were exist in harsh climatic conditions. ಇಷ್ಟು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ರೈಟ್? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ archaebacteria. Types of archaebacteria. Number 1, methanogens. Number 2, halophytes. Number 3, thermoacidophytes. So now methanogens, halophytes, thermoacidophytes. So you can observe that the what are methanogens? Halophytes ಮತ್ತು thermoacidophytes very simple are there. These are methanogens are present in the marshy areas. Halophytes are present in the salty areas. Then thermoacidophytes are present in the acid conditions. Right? ಈಗ halophytes Methanogens I will study later. Halophiles they are present in the salty area, means wherever salt is more, at that region halophiles are going to be found. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಪಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು. ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ halophiles they are going to survive. Thermoacidophiles ಅಂದ್ರೆ thermo means temperature, ಅಂದ್ರೆ these are the bacteria which are normally considered as a temperature and acid loving bacteria. If the extreme temperature is there, acid rain is also going to be occurring, they are also surviving. That is why they are normally considered as the thermoacidophiles. Temperature and acid loving bacteria ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ all they are found in the extreme extremity. We can observe that. ಈ ಮೂರಲ್ಲಿ important you can observe that the methanogens. Methanogens ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. Even we are going to study in the second year also. ಹೌದಾ? Importance of the methanogens that we will discuss in the next video. But now here total whatever we have studied so far, they are important. This is biological classification is important in the NEET examination also. 3 to 4 questions are going to be asked in the NEET examination from this chapter. ಅಂದ್ರೆ NEET exam second year ಮೇಲೆ first year chapters ಏನಿರ್ತವೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ biological classification is important. That is why ಯಾವ ತರ questions ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ then we will discuss later. But now today whatever we have discussed that you have to observe, and we have started the second chapter because first chapter as far as the textbook is concerned not completed, but now some portions it has been deleted. That is why how much it has been given, it has been given. Followed, read out, and the next video ನಲ್ಲಿ we have come across the methanogens. Methanogens so then the types of bacteria we are going to study. ಈ chapter ನಲ್ಲಿ complete full chapter ಇದೆ. So now no portion or no component is deleted from this chapter. Okay, have a nice day.